Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we're taking our sixth look through my vintage Pelican paperbacks, get them cleaned up and ready, looking as good as possible to go back into the collection. We've got some special ones this time round with the 21st anniversary editions, which have got the original belly bands from 1956. So looking forward to having a look at those. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay then, so this first one here is dated 1955. Confucian philosophy, blimey O'Reilly. Bit of a subject, isn't it? The film and the public. Well, that was number 333, by the way. This is 334. I think we got pretty much a full run all the way through without any gaps, to the best of my knowledge, from what I can remember, you know. Don't think we got any missing. But I am missing a handful below 600, which is sort of my collecting boundaries on these Pelicans. Foundations in the Dust. Now this is a bit low grade. Look at this. Oh dear. Look. Well, we've seen it once or twice before where we've opened a book and it's literally come apart. This is far the worse for wear, alas. But we should be able to re-glue it. Yeah, it's certainly been in the wars, this one. And you do find this at certain periods of Penguin, and that includes the mid-1950s. The glue that was being used just hasn't really stood up to the test of time, really, you know, and looks like that's exactly what we've got here. But quite an easy fix, this one. Put some on the spine like that, and directly on the messy spine of the book here, like so. And hopefully this will just line up quite nicely. Now, the actual spine itself, we've glued down obviously the first layer. But you notice in there, if I can get my screwdriver in there, that bit needs a bit of extra attention. So I'm going to slide that under there and put a wedge right in the bottom of the spine like that. In fact, that's probably perfect. Squidge it around a bit. The good news with the Pritt stick, it does come out quite nicely. Now we've got one other little bit to do, so I'll just get this off my hands. So this is like a 2-ply bit of spine. So we've done the first bit safely. In actual fact, I think it has actually done the job. It has kept it nice and tight, but not a great example of that one. So A336, Foundations in the Dust. I'll pop it on my wants list, because upgrade list rather, because most of my Pelicans, as we'll see, from this sort of period onwards are actually pretty nice. But, you know, that one was evidently a little rogue entity, so it did need that little bit of repairing. So I filled up another box of Pelicans. And this is part 6 of these. We've been doing a box at a time. It's got a little 10pence in the corner there. The origin of the earth. And I do quite like this period in penguin history. But with Pelican, I prefer when they start getting onto the 1960s and we've got some pictorial covers and what have you. This one's had a bit of water damage down the bottom there, along the spine. It's not the end of the world, but see, apart from that, it's actually in nice condition. So I'm going to let it go. Looking at the cover, that odd one, because it's been published late in 1958, they came back and used the number. It's still the first Pelican, but that particular one is one of the ones which could have the cover polished. So I think what we'll do, I'll grab the polish, and there's a few odd later ones that we'll polish as we go along. Alright, so I've got my Mr. Sheen here. I'm going to pop some literally straight on. There'll only be a couple like this, but this particular one I think will greatly benefit from having a polish, as I think you can see. Yes, it's bringing up lots of dirt and dust. It's covered, this particular book is covered in a very early form of lamination, and consequently it is possible to clean up a lot of the yellowing off it. A lot of this will be caused by cigarettes, of course. That is probably as good as we're going to get that. Look at that, that was a brand new clean cloth. We've taken quite a bit of dirt off that. It's still, you know, not the best of copies, but it's basically better than what it was, which is hopefully what we're trying to do here in a lot of cases. The human species is all right. The Stone Age of Northern Africa. "500 years of printing." History of New Zealand. Almost got very faded edges, but it'll do. It'll do. Really just the ones so far that we want to upgrade. It's okay. Human groups. Now this one is also a later one. Musical instruments throughout the ages, A347. So chronologically, it is the next one, but it seems much, much later. So what number is it? Yeah, 1961. So much later. By this point, they all had much more, as you can see, much more robust sort of covers, and lamination was much better, but at that point. So we can just give this one the cursory wipe. I don't know if we'll have any more from this sort of later period, but probably maybe the next batch or the batch after, we'll have to polish them all, you know, because they'll all be with this sort of very early covered covers, you know. They're just laminated, but that's good because it means they do clean up quite nicely. Alchemy. Alchemy. It's probably quite a good read. Aquinas. That's all right. Now that pile's just about done, so I'm going to stick that over there, and we'll start a new pile. The Arabs. See that? That's okay. I had a feeling that the cover was coming away there, but he's actually all right. A Guide to Earth History. Chemistry. Now, this one here is quite interesting because you can see the silver on the cover there. But that's because this one was published with a belly band around it for the first 21 years of Penguins Come of Age. And the silver sort of covering has left a bit of a mark because it's no longer there. So that's a bit of a shame. Now this one here, look, it's been eaten. So I'm going to definitely put this on my list because at some point this has been nibbled at by something. So A356, Archaeology from the Earth. So Mortimer Wheeler. A356, it's absolutely fine apart from that, but it has been nibbled and you don't know what it's been nibbled by really. Obviously something historical, but it does sort of spoil it quite a bit. That I don't like to see books chewed if I can help it. Right, to define true madness. Chinese art, so photo cover, A358. There we are. It was alright, big heavy book, that one. Look at this, look, Chinese art 2, so it was a 2-volume affair. Same guy. Incredible. See, the numbering actually continues right over. So it's like a double volume in effect. So probably sold as pairs. Now this next one is another one where you can see on the back, where you can see on the spine, this would have had that belly band around it because that bit is less tanned than the rest of it. Oh, in fact, look, there's bits of the belly band here. There we are, look. That bit seems to be stuck in. Yeah. But there you go. You get a little idea of it. Look, 21. So I'll keep that in there. Because at one point this book did have the belly band around it. There's the start of it. So, but it's like fused. It's fused itself into the DNA of this book. Whereas this next one still has the belly band intact. So this is what we're looking at. Penguins Come of Age, 35 to 56. Look at that. That's lovely, isn't it? And that's exactly as it would have come. It's, once again, look at that, it's stuck the first page down. Look at that. Wow. But these ones with belly bands are extremely scarce, as you can imagine. Yeah, 1956. That was 21 years after Penguin started. Yeah, the belly band ones are extremely scarce, so I'll be careful with them. Here's another one. That's probably my best example, I think. I don't know. I've got a couple more which I've got on, so it would be nice to get that there. What I'm going to do, once those have been brushed, I've actually got some comic bags, some paperback bags rather. I'm going to put these in paperback bags. I was saying that they're so thick. I'm hoping they fit in okay. So I've got some digest ones instead. Here's another one. Yeah, so this one's got a bit more wear on it, sadly. But as I said, they're all supremely rare with a belly band. I mean, they just are. Yeah, I'll leave that exactly as is, I think. Not going to force the issue. Right, the Queen's Courts. That one's okay. Alfred Adler. Hobbes. In an age of revolution. Right, this is the last one with a belly band on. So, yeah, I've got none of them are perfect, in all honesty, you know. None of them are perfect, but I said they are so scarce. They did do them on main series penguins, and in fact, I know I don't have a single one of a main series penguin which has still got a belly band intact. Not a single one in my collection. History of Western literature. Chamber music. Nice copy of that one. We're getting near the end. Amazingly, this was another whole comic box load of books. The Human Machine. We've not had too much repair work to do, really. I think we've only taken out one or two prices, and we've repaired the one spine. A postage stamp. So yeah, we've definitely not had loads to do today. And only one on the upgrade list, or two on the upgrade list, which isn't too bad. As I said, thankfully nowadays Pelicans are pretty cheap to collect, even the early ones. But some of them, you know, the wartime ones, I think are quite scarce in nice condition, as any Penguin books from that sort of period are, really. Problem now, look, this one. Look, this has also got the elements of the remnants of the belly band. I wonder if this is dated 56 as well. Yeah, it was. Yeah, so still that first year of the anniversary year. Sorry, 21 years. Human disease. Let's slide them over there. From Dryden to Johnson. Education. How to be happy, though human. Okay. This one's very, very foxed. The Mentality of Apes. But generally, it's a quite steady and robust copy. It's just foxed, and there's nothing you can do about that. Once it's done, it's sort of done, really. It just meant at some point in its life it's been stored in a damp environment, sadly. Wines and spirits. And look at this, look. Coates and Company, Plymouth, the sole makers of Plymouth Gin, point out that their gin is made only in Plymouth, England. There we are. So little note with the publishers about Plymouth Gin. The English penal system. Sense and nonsense in psychology. And the last one we're looking at, The Aesthetic Adventure. William Gaunt. Look at this. It's quite nice. Right. Next job then is give these all a brush down. Right. Now the physical bit of the operation as we give these books a brush down. That's pile one. Some of these aren't too bad actually. They've been completely covered up where they've been stored, so they've not picked up much dust, which is good news. Right, now, need to be a little bit more careful with these ones because they've got the belly bands on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can bag these in paperback bags. I've got some here. If they don't fit in those, they'll have to go in digest bags. let's give it a go. Yeah, they're not going to go. So I think this will be the case, I think, for all of them. So I'm going to actually not force them. I'm going to pop them into digest bags. So I shall just pause there and dig them out. Right, so I've gone and got myself some digest size bags now. And these, well, they're made for digest size magazines for starters, which are much, much wider. But it's the only way to get really thick vintage paperbacks bagged up safely without rippling the book. And I could have possibly squeezed this book into a regular paperback bag, but I would have caused damage. And the whole reason I'm doing these now is to protect that gorgeous belly band, because they are rare. It's as simple as that. Whereas your typical Pelican book might be worth £3 to £5, with a belly band in place, particularly if it's nice condition, it could be as much as £20 or more. So because of that reason, these are going into bags so that there's no chance of them getting any worse than they already are. There we are. So at least I can sleep at night. Now there was only 2 in this little lot here. So we'll do these 2, then I'll brush the next couple. Yeah, I think that was my best one, wasn't it? That was the best looking one out of all the ones that I've got. And I forget where I got them, to be honest. I think it was when I mainly picked up my original big wedge of Pelicans, which was from a lifelong collector of non-fiction books. That's what he was into. And he was a bookshop manager, the same as me at the time. And he was retiring and needed a bit of space. So I said, well, I'll have all them off you. And there was quite a nice batch of penguins as well, as I recall. But yeah, they look lovely, don't they? They really, really do. I said particularly scarce, so they're just not around those. So they have to be in order, so they're like that. And now we need to do, this one's got another odd belly banded one in there. I said eventually I'll do all the Pelicans, but for the time being, just doing the most at-risk ones is probably the way to go. Which is why the stuff you've seen me bagging mainly has been my most vintage paperbacks of all, simply because they're just so fragile. There we are. It was in the middle, wasn't it? 463, 464, 465, yeah. Okay. Another odd one to bag here. This one feels like it probably would have gone in okay into a normal paperback bag, in all honesty, but not to worry. I've stuffed them away now. Yeah, I'm sure that would have gone in a normal bag actually, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to worry. Right, there we are. So that's the second pile done. Oh. Pile number 3. Okay, that's pile number 3 done. Oh, in fact, that's actually pile number 4, so we are done. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed today's video. It was short, but we did get quite a bit done, and I'm very pleased to get these banded penguins bagged up and looking or preserved as best as we possibly can. If you enjoyed today's video, do please give it that thumbs up. Do please hit the subscribe button if you've not already for regular vintage book cleaning content, and I'll see you again with another video next week. Bye.